go right into the first article of the special town meeting. Yes. Yeah, if you want to do it before the annual, Stephen.
I'd like to do one second now and 1 second.
Sure, go right ahead. Board of Selectmen.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. As the fire chief said, that the town of Avon has been pretty lucky dealing with the pandemic of COVID-19. And I did want to make special note to some individuals who have played a major part in regulating us, enforcing a certain protocol, and establishing what the protocol is. First off, Chief Spur, the Director of Emergency Management. Again, thank you, Chief. Kathleen Waldron, Health Agent, Town of Avon. Kathleen, as many of the people I'm talking to, work 24/7 and still works 24/7 to make sure that we are all healthy. We're trying to make sure that everyone is protected. And I think that everyone will agree that she has, with the chief's help or vice versa, has made it very reasonable for us without imposing major restrictions on us to be able to survive. I'd like to also congratulate Greg Enos, who certainly led the charge with us. Town administrator did a lot of coordination. Certainly, he can tell you that I was his best friend and still is his best friend. We have council on aging personnel. They stepped up. We had meals to deliver. We had council on aging people to take care of, and they stepped up to help out with that situation. We have the school department, Chris, school superintendent, and the food service actually provided meals for the children and the COA people who needed meals, and they prepared them every day and got them ready for our COA to pick them up and deliver them. Certainly want to thank Selectman Eric Beckerman, who had the opportunity to be around Town Hall a lot during this time, was there to help with anything that was needed, and certainly want to thank him. Two other people, instead of going through the whole list of roster of the town employees, but two other people that played a major part during this COVID-19 is Deb Warren. Deb Warren came to work every single day, was there to keep the town running. And we certainly, are very happy and show her a lot of appreciation. And then, of course, I cannot forget Shanna Farrell, who is the executive assistant to the Board of Selectmen and to the town administrator, who kept us all straight and narrow in that office and made sure that any kind of communication that needed to be taken care of, conversations, and she did a great job. So thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Stephen. Congratulations on your reappointment as the chairman.
Thank you.
Before we get started, I told you I would do the introductions between the two, but right now we have a new selectman. Jason, you want to just say hi to the folks? This is your new selectman here, Jason. He's been around town. So it's good to have some young people getting involved. Not that you guys are old. Let's go with Article 1, the Board of Selectmen. Stephen, who's going to do that? Jason? Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Article 1, I move the town vote to pay out of available funds the sum of $55,000 as ratification for a 2-year collective bargaining agreement for the period of July 1st, 2018, June 30th, 2020, between the town and the professional firefighters of Avon, IAF, Local 3857. Second.
We have a motion and second. Jason, you want to explain it to them, please?
This was to complete their contract for 2019 and 2020 with their 2% per year increase.
Okay. Do we have anybody else who has a question, either in this room or any other room? I'm going to have to wait a few seconds to see if any of the other rooms are questioning. Seeing none. All those in favor signify in the usual manner, raise your right hand. Okay, good. The room's around. All those opposed? Passes unanimously. He said that the other rooms are now empty, so we're all ready to go ahead. Article 2, Stephen? Eric? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $1,300,000 to pay down various bonds.
The motion and second. Eric, you want to explain it to them, please?
As everybody knows, our bond payment went up pretty significantly this year, and in order to try to mitigate that against what we had, plus with the issues we have with revenue, we spoke to our bond people, our bond securities group, and our bond counsel, and we were able to pay down one of the older bonds that would save approximately $215,000 annually for the next 9 years. And overall, it'll save us $275,000 in overall interest. So it's kind of a win-win for the whole town. This will help us out not just this year, balance the budget, but going forward as well.
Thank you, Eric. Is there any other discussion on this motion, which I think is a great deal for the town? Seeing none. All those in favor signify in the usual manner. All those opposed, passes unanimously. Thank you, Eric. Article 3. That would be our town accountant, is it?
I'm gonna read it, Mr. Moderator.
Okay, sure, Stephen. Absolutely.
They have the tough one here. I move the town vote to transfer from free cash the sum of $2,915 to pay a prior year's bill.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. As you all know, it's a bill from years gone by. It requires 9/10 of a vote. So if there is any no's, we'll have to count everybody. So out there, all those in favor signify in the usual manner. All those opposed? Unanimous, Stephen. Thank you again. Article 4, I saw the people who had that. Stephen, is that you?
Yes, I'm gonna read it.
Okay.
I move the town vote pursuant to Massachusetts General Law Chapter 40, Section 59, and Chapter 23A, Sections 3A through 3F, and the applicable regulations thereunder, to A, approve a tax increment financing agreement between the town and Karas & Karas Glass Company, Inc. and its affiliate Cooper/LZK Properties, LLC, for property located at 1 Kitty Drive, better known as the TIF agreement, which TIF agreement provides for real estate tax exemptions at the exemption rate schedule set forth herein. And B, authorize the Board of Selectmen to execute the TIF agreement and any documents related thereto, and to approve submission to the Massachusetts Economic Assistance Coordinating Council, EACC, of the TIF agreement, and any documents related thereto, all pertaining to the project as described in the TIF agreement, and any necessary documents relating thereto, in related submissions, and to take such other actions as necessary or appropriate to implement these documents and carry out the purposes of this article.
Do I have a second? Okay. Stephen, you want to explain it? I understand our building inspector would like to speak on it. Is that correct? Okay. Okay, Bob. Thank you.
Okay, so this TIF agreement with this particular party is to allow them a reduction in taxes over years for any new value in the property and any new value of personal property. So, for example, if the building right now is worth $100 and they're going to increase the value of the building to $200, the tax benefit that we are giving the party is on the second $100, and it is a sliding scale over the next 10 years. At the end of 10 years, the town will have 100% value of the new property, the old property, and any additional personal property.
Thank you, Stephen. Are there any other questions on this article? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 4 as presented by the Board of Selectmen signify in the usual manner. All those opposed, passes. Thank you, Steve. Okay. What else? Was that it? Okay. Okay, that's it. No. I would like to recess the annual town meeting, the special town meeting for 20 minutes, Stephen, and at 7 o'clock we'll go in. The reason I don't want to adjourn it is because people may have an hour to reconsider and they must have that time to them, okay? So I will recess until 7 o'clock. We'll go right into the annual town meeting and we'll get it done. I'm going to introduce a few people that are in the audience, but I would like to apologize to everybody for not having a tie on this. I always wear a tie in respect for the town, but I am unable to do that this evening. So I would like to first introduce our state senator, who is a great pal of Avon. Believe me, I do a lot of work with OCPC, and Walt is always on the ball for me. So I'd like to introduce you to our state senator, Walter Timothy. Would you like to say a few words to me? Well, you're right. You can use that microphone right there, okay, sir? Thank you, Walter.
Thank you all very much. I will be very brief. Obviously, your business at the end, and I don't want to move the next slide. I just got it. So, but I'm going to be very quick. It's a privilege to work with all you folks and for you folks. In conjunction with my friend Representative Alvin, and of course the moderator, our standing select board, Jay. Congratulations to you. You are truly the young person on the board. So congratulations on a board that is not old, by the way. And to our town clerk, thank you very much. And to our select board, I need to say everything on those involved. We lost some great people in the town of Avon this year. They will never be forgotten and will always be in our memories. And I believe we go a long way towards carrying on the memory of Doreen and Bob tonight with town meeting that's always conducted in the civil. And I think it's my fashion that you folks always do that in the Avon way. It is the Avon way. So thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here tonight to work for each and every one of you. And I look forward to working for each and every one of you down the road in conjunction with my friend Alvin. Take care, folks. Thank you.
Bill Galvin, our representative in the House of Representatives in Boston. Bill is our guy, and he's done a lot for us. So I'd just like to have him say a few words.
Good evening, Paul. It's a pleasure to be here this evening with all of you. I echo the comments that the senator said, so I won't say that all over again. But I know it's been a very difficult time with the pandemic, and people have been going through financial hardships. So I just want to let everyone know that if anyone is having a financial hardship, having problems with their unemployment, to give my office a call the senator's office, and we'd be glad to help you. I almost think, I work for the unemployment agency. We've had so many complaints and so many people that have had such hardships because of what's been going on. So please, if anyone needs some help, give us a call, and we'd be happy to help you. My number is 617-722-2690. And Senator, you can give it out. 1643. 617-722-1643 is the Senate. So we'd be happy to help anyone as much as we can. And I'm not going to tell you off. I want to thank you all, and thank you, and have a good day.
I don't usually introduce candidates, but we do have one. I don't know if she's in the hall anywhere. The young lady by the name of Tamisha Civil. Are you in the hall anywhere? I don't see her. Okay, thank you. She called and wanted us to introduce her, but I guess she didn't show up. We have the Finance Committee. How many members do we have here tonight, Danny? 1, 2, 3, 4. Finance Committee, you gotta remember something. We have a little time, so I'm gonna tell you. These guys work for absolutely not one penny. And they work night after night after night, hashing out payroll, all of the bills that need to be paid, how you pay them, and so forth. So I am grateful to Dan for leading our group and for all that he does, Dan Noren, and I just would like to thank him and his finance committee. Danny, you guys did a great job of getting this book together and the way you set up the hall and everything else. That was phenomenal, and I want to thank you. We do have one opening on the finance committee, and if you would like to submit a letter, you submit it to the town down below at the town hall, and we'll review it and we'll see if we can get you replaced. But we're one person short, but we've got an excellent finance committee, so if anybody is interested. We've got about 8, 9 minutes, so if you need to get a drink or anything, and then we're gonna go right into the annual town meeting, and I'm hoping that we don't skip anybody. You said everybody's in here now, correct?
Yes.
Bob, is that what you said?
Yes.
So we don't have to worry about anybody questioning or anything else.
The overflow's directed.
Okay. Did you two people, did you want to thank somebody in the town or something? Okay, thank you. You did, thank you. I think Eric Beckerman is going to read the Article 3 to pay and so forth between him and Steve Rose. And only because I don't want to lose my voice, so they're going to try to make it distinct and put it on for us. It'll be up on the board here, am I correct? All the articles will come up. So once we get started, I think that it's not going to be up on the board? Okay, all right, it'll be in the book, you'll have to read it. Now, when we get to Article 9 and 10, since we have a few moments, I don't want you to try to read that whole thing. Those are referendums and so forth, and I'm sure our DPW and Bob Gordon and anybody else that's affiliated with it. So if you get a chance, you read Articles 9 and 10, and we'll try to get through that as quickly as possible. And I want to thank all of you for coming out, because this is not an easy way to run a town meeting, and you people show that you really do care. And it means a lot to people like myself, the Board of Selectmen, or your finance committee that works to try to get this put together, your town clerk, and all of those kind of people. And I know with the sudden death of Bob Brady and the passing of Darlene, that it has made a little more harder on all of the people in the town hall. So we're living in a bad time as far as health in the world goes, and we can only hope that somewhere along the line somebody finds a cure. So we've got 4 or 5 minutes.
Have a good town meeting, everybody.
Wally, if you need to go somewhere, you can.
Thank you very much. I have to attend West Bridgewater's town meeting. So
Whatever you gotta do.
thank you all. Have a wonderful town meeting.
We thank you for coming.
This is being recorded. Recorded is. Yeah, it is. What do we have? Sarah's.
The young lady sitting over here, that is Kamisha Civil, the young lady who's running for the 6th District of Norfolk County. I wanted to introduce her because she had called and asked. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. One minute. As I told you, the selectmen will be reading the budget, Article 3. If you are calling a pass on it or a question, if your name is John Doe and you say, line item 122, John Doe question, or pass, whatever. And we'll take your name down, we'll move on, and then after the budget is done, we will go back over it and give you a chance to speak. If there are no questions, which would be great, we will go right into Article 3 and finish it up and clean it up. So we've got about 1 minute and we're about ready to go. Well, sir. Stephen, Board of Selectmen, Article 1 and 2. Well, I'm sorry, I thought you did that one.
I did, I had one special one.
No problem.
All right, thank
Go
you.
ahead, go ahead.
Thank you, Maura.
Selection.
I just wanted to let everyone know how challenging the budget season was this year. As we all know, the budget season starts in the fall of the year. We request budgets that come in from the department heads and from the school department. They're reviewed, they're put into a very large spreadsheet. We review them. So this budget season, we were at, in December, we were at a deficit of $480,000, I believe. With the help of the school department, FinCom, and the department heads, the Board of Selectmen worked real hard to get to what we thought was a balanced budget that we forwarded to the FinCom at the beginning of February. FinCom did their job, they reviewed it, they turned it upside down, and we thought we were going to have a nice budget. Then March 10th, guess what happened? COVID-19, pandemic, state of emergency. We knew that there was going to be a problem then, we just did not know what the problem was going to be, how bad it was going to be, and how to deal with it. We relied on our state legislation to guide us, which they did a good job. But the one issue that they couldn't help us with immediately was what was going to happen to state aid. So after several attempts, we finally got the bad news that they believed that state aid was going to be cut 20%. Now keep in mind that we already had a budget that was put in place, that the FinCom was working on, that they had tentatively approved. And now we're looking at the 20% cut from state aid, trying to deal with. The Board of Selectmen, with the help of FinCom, went back to all the department heads, went back to the schools. Schools gave us some more money. They took money off of their budgets to help reduce the deficit. So when we originally looked at reducing state aid by 20%, and we'd already had a balanced budget at one point, because of state aid and some other issues that we had, we now had a deficit of $600,000. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I think it's important that everyone understand. The Board of Selectmen and the FinCom worked together, and we got to the point with a lot of sweat, a lot of hard work, that we got to a balanced budget with a reduction in state aid and a reduction in some other line items. And we did that by maintaining most of the services that this town has, and by maintaining at least all of the positions on the municipal side, and I'm not exactly sure how many positions on the school side that they lost or had to trim. But I have to really have you understand that that's a big challenge. To go from December, we made up $480,000. Then in February and March, we have the gun pointed at our heads, and now we have to figure out how to come up with a balanced budget. And I think that the budget that's presented tonight to the town meeting members is a very good budget. It was worked on collaboratively with the FinCom and the Board of Selectmen. And as the moderator said before, there was a lot of work to get it to that point. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that certainly Greg Enos, the town administrator, kind of led that up, kind of guided us. I can probably tell you that I saw 10 different budgets from Greg until we get to the budget that we're at right now. As I said previously, we talk a lot. We try to figure out, we were guessing before we got the word from Senator Timothy's office that we were looking at a 20% cut in state aid. We were guessing. We had no idea what was going on. We were guessing that local receipts, state aid, were they going to cut Chapter 70? What the heck were they going to do? So I just want to emphasize that, as the moderator said, these are difficult times. This was not an easy budget. This was not a budget that was attempted and we resolved right away. You consider that we started the budget process in November, December, and here it is 6 months later, and with the help of town meeting tonight, we're going to try to get it passed, but it took a long time, a lot of effort on a lot of people's part to get to this situation. I'm very proud of the budget because minimal disruption to the positions we have, which means that we had minimal disruption to the services that this town gives to its residents. I think that's a great thing. Anybody who looks at the news, surrounding towns, cutting school teachers, cutting services, we were able not to do that. And I'm really proud of that, and I think that if we make it through tonight, we get the school budget, budget passed, I think that going into next year, we will have a stable year, and we can then move on to certainly 2022. But anyways, thank you for the opportunity to talk, Mr. Moderator, and I just thought that everyone should know how difficult this budget season has been.
Thank you, Stephen. I know the people of the town do thank you people who set this up. Stephen, line item, Articles 1 and 2 are usually taken together. You want to make that motion?
I'll make a motion to take Articles 1 and 2 together. Mr. Moderator, you already read them?
It's just a hearing and reading of the reports. You don't turn one in, it's just a read. So, Stephen, we read them. Do we have a second down there? Second, Eric. Any discussion on taking Article 1 and 2 together? Seeing none. All those in favor signify in the usual manner. All those opposed? Passes. Okay. Article 3 is our budget. Mr. Beckman's going to read it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I move the town vote to raise and appropriate such sums of money as may be necessary to defray the town charges for the ensuing fiscal year 2021, including salaries of the several elected officers of the town, and make appropriations for the same.
Second.
May I make a suggestion that Department request, Board of Selectmen recommendation, FinCom recommendation, if they're all the same, I would just read one and save yourself a ton of time. It's up to you, whatever you want.
The two columns are identical, so I'm going to read the department, the line, the description, and the one. So we'll start. Line 114, moderator salary, 1,000. 114, moderator expenses, 225. 122, selectmen salary, 15,000. Salary union, 0. Salary non-union, 61,921. Expenses, 14,922. Salary reserve, 150,000. Newsletter, 8,100. Celebrations, 6,750. Line 125, human resources, expenses, 9,000. Line 129, town administrator salary, 147,900. Expenses, 4,500. 131, finance committee salary clerical, 0. Expenses, $5,050. 132, FinCom reserve, 75,000. 135, town accountant salary, 93,000. Expenses, 38,115. 141, assessors salaries, 115,900. Expenses, 23,220. 145, treasurer collector salary, $209,570.03. 3 cents on it. Expenses, 21,780. 149, technology salary, 76,500. Expenses, 260,000. 151, legal, retainer town council, 11,250. Purchase services, 92,000. Assessors legal expense, 30,000. Personnel, 152, personnel board, salary 0, expenses 100. Payroll data processing, 22,000. 161, town clerk salary, 138,420. Expenses, 8,109. 162, election registrars, salary 4,500. Expenses, 8,925. 163, census, expenses, 3,200. 171, conservation commission, Salary, 500. Expenses, 5,850. 175, planning board, salaries, 7,500. Expenses, 1,800. 176, board of appeals, salary 0, expenses 200. 184, cable TV advisory board, expenses $100. 192, town hall and building maintenance, salary clock 1,000, expenses 99,882. 195, town reports, expenses 3,000. 210, police department, salary 1,896,589. Expenses 205,773. Police cruiser 45,000. CMBI transfer, which is an offset of 45,000. 215, fire and police dispatch, salary 357,000. 220, fire department salary 1,573,720. Ambulance transfer 75,000. Expenses 226,575. Ambulance transfer 50,000. 241, building inspector, salary 103,133. Alternate inspector 3,100. Expenses 12,217. 242, gas inspector, salary 9,435. Alternate inspector $1,020. Expenses $600. 243, plumbing inspector, salary $9,435. Alternate inspector $1,020. Expenses $600. 245, wiring inspector, salary $18,870. Alternate inspector $1,122. Expenses $1,200. 292, animal control, expenses $15,700. 294, tree warden, salary $1,000. Expenses $18,000. 299, local emergency management, expenses $10,000. Line 300, Avon Public Schools, operating expense $9,977,207. School choice offset $959,502. 390, Blue Hills Regional Schools, operating expense $1,149,524. Schools to careers $14,456. 391, Norfolk Agricultural School, operating expense $16,000. 423, snow and ice, expenses $100,000. 424, street lighting, expenses $108,000. 433, waste disposal, rubbish collection $462,500. Recycling expenses $31,000. 440, DPW salary $847,373. Expenses $597,826. 510, Board of Health, salary service $132,738. Animal inspector $1,000. Expenses $16,200. Compost attendant $10,100. 529, health services, visiting nurses $10,000. 541, council on aging salary $208,340. Expenses $12,870. 543, veteran services, salary $17,030. Expenses $1,000. Veterans benefits $37,600. Veterans quarters $700. Line 610, library salary $270,783. Expenses $145,784. 550, parks and recreation salary $62,000. Expenses $35,000. 695, Cultural Council, expenses, 100. Line 699, Memorial Day expenses, 9,000. Debt payment, 600, line 710, debt outside the cap, 2,033,718. Short-term borrowing, 5,000. Cost of bond insurance, 15,000. Police fire, short-term interest, 0. Under pensions, lines 911, Norfolk County retirement, 1,446,399. Retirement sick vacation, 55,000. OPEB, 145,000. Under insurance, line 912, workman's comp, 137,000. Line 913, unemployment, 80,000. 914, medical and life, 2,854,200. 916, Medicare, 245,000. 910, Medicaid, 10,000. 945, liability, 258,000. Line 930, capital planning expenses, $1,170. Capital reserve, 45,000. That is it.
Thank you very much for helping me out, Mr. Beckman. Mr. Rose, I will take a motion to move to approve Article 3 as read by the Board of Selectmen. Okay, do I have a second? Second. Okay. Any questions out there on Article 3? Seeing none. All those in favor signify in the usual manner. All those opposed, passes. Thank you very much, Board of Selectmen. That was a big help to me. Okay. Article 4. Board of Selectmen, Stephen, I'm sorry, I'm going to just get caught up.
No problem. I move the town vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to accept and to enter into a contract with the expenditure of any funds allotted or to be allotted by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and/or County of Norfolk for the construction, reconstruction, and/or improvement of town roads.
We have a motion and second. And Stephen, you want to explain it to the people, please?
Yes, this article deals with the Chapter 90 funding that we get from the state, that we have allocations every year. And it goes to roads and, I think I say roads and bridges, but we don't have any bridges in Avon, but it will be to fix and repair the roads in the town.
Any other questions? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 4 as presented by the Board of Selectmen signify in the usual manner. All those opposed, passes, Stephen. Article 5, Board of Health. Is Jerry here? There he is. I knew I saw you, Jerry.
It's on my head.
This one here, Jerry, if you would, please.
Do you have the amended article? Yeah. That's the amended Article 5.
I move the town vote to authorize the transfer from the Septic Loan Receipts Account, the sum of $10,200, final payment of the Title V Water Pollution Rate Trust Loan. That's the part, yeah. Vote and approve the annual town meeting of May 5th, 1998, Article 23. This is a transfer of funds.
Second, please.
Transfer of funds from the septic loan. It's a pay down, and this is the final payment of our first septic loan account. This back in 1998.
Okay, are there any other questions on this article? Seeing none. All those in favor signify in the usual manner. All opposed, Jerry, it passes. Thank you very kindly for your help. Jerry, you have Article 6.
I move the town vote to authorize the transfer from the septic loan receipts account, the sum of $6,000 for repayment to Massachusetts Clean Water Trust, formerly the Water Pollution Rate Trust. Voted and approved at the annual town meeting May 5th, 2015. So 37.
We have a second, Jerry, you want to explain it?
Now, again, this is a new loan that we have. It's a current loan, and this is our payments on that loan.
Thank you, Jerry. Any other discussion on this article? Seeing none, all those in favor signify in the usual manner. All those opposed, passes. Thank you, Jerry. This is the water tank for the town. Treasurer collector is, you're going to read it, Eric? Thank you.
I move the town vote to authorize to move from annual town meeting 2018, Article 14, Page Street Water Tank Stabilization Account, sum of $2,036.52, earned interest on the account to estimated receipts.
Second.
Eric, want to explain it to them?
Yeah, this is, the original authorization was 1.14 million for the tank. And when the money was in the stabilization account, it creates there's interest that's earned on it. The money was used to do the tank, but the interest stayed in the account. And obviously, in order to move it out, we have to have a town meeting to do it. So it's coming from the stabilization account, basically clear that stabilization account out completely. And it's going to go into estimated receipts, which is part of what we use to help balance the budget this year.
Thank you, Eric. Let me ask you guys one question. This is normally a 2/3 vote. Was that money put in the general fund or was it left in the stabilization fund? Okay, so that requires a 2/3 vote. Any exceptions to this, we will have to count. So you heard Article 7 as presented by the Board of Selectmen for the treasurer. All those in favor signify in the usual manner. All those opposed, unanimous. Thank you very much. Article 8, Board of Selectmen.
Little housekeeping. I move the town vote to authorize to enact Chapter 115-14 of the Town of Avon General Bylaws entitled Stretch Energy Code for the purpose of regulating the design and construction of buildings for the effective use of energy pursuant to Appendix 115.AA of the Massachusetts Building Code 780 CRM, the Stretch Energy Code, including future additions, amendments, or modifications thereto, with an effective date of January 1st, 2021, a copy of which is on file with the town clerk.
Do I have a second? You want to explain it to them?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the Stretch Energy Code is a regulation that, first off, is part of the Green Initiative, and it actually takes some elements of the building code and makes it the regulations adhere to energy efficiency for all. I think Bob is going to speak on this on all new construction going forward. The town is interested in getting this approved tonight because the application, when it's approved by the state, actually gives us access to some money to do some upgrades to energy within the town as a grant process. So there's a possibility that we could get up to $300,000 the first year. 135 the first year. So besides being a green initiative, that is what certainly the selectmen are looking to do at this point.
Thank you, Stephen. Bob, did you want to speak on this article? Bob Borden, our building inspector.
You buy the right dust mask, they work as hard as too. Anyhow, speaking on this adoption of the Stretch Energy Code. This code currently is only a mild increase in the existing building code as to the requirements for insulation and efficiency of commercial and residential buildings throughout the Commonwealth. This is specific to the town of Avon. Why I have objected to this for a number of years as a building inspector is writing building code by legislation. The people that promote this code are not builders, they're not real estate developers. They simply have one agenda, and that agenda is to make the cost of energy in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and across the nation more expensive. The ultimate near-term goal, and I wouldn't even say short-term, but near-term, is that the net zero construction will be the mandated code in the state of Massachusetts. Net zero is you have to produce as much energy on your site as you are going to use on your site. It's a residential house, you either put up a windmill or rooftop solar to generate enough electricity to run your house. If it's a commercial building, you run the same gamut. You put enough co-generating capability on your property to operate your building. One town in the Commonwealth has already banned the use of fossil fuels in new construction. I don't think this is valuable to anybody, but they've done it. The cost of putting solar on the roof is a lot more expensive than putting gas in your boiler. The cost of putting a windmill in your backyard is more than a boiler. It's more unattractive to your neighbors. You can ask people down in the town of Falmouth what they think of windmills, where the town is eating the cost of the windmills that they put up. It was shut down by court order. So it's not the panacea these people present in this stretch energy code. This is only part of what has to be adopted by the town to become a so-called green community. It's not the entirety of the package. This is the easy piece that you get to vote on. So I personally, and as a building official in the Commonwealth, do not support the adoption of the stretch energy code. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 8 as presented by the Board of Selectmen signify in the usual manner. All those opposed? Motion is defeated. Okay. All right. 9 and 10. Who's going to make these?
Sure.
Okay. I don't want them to have to go through this as you read it and everything. Let them review it and let them, you explain what this means. Do you need this? Do we want it? Do we have to have it? So save them a lot of time of reading the whole.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. So Article 9 and 10, even though they're separate articles, they really deal with the same issue. So the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has regulated, again, the Commonwealth regulates things. They regulated how individual towns, cities and towns deal with stormwater, discharge, construction, management, and so forth. So Article 9 deals with what the DEP has told the town that we should adopt, and we need to adopt by June 30th of this year. So we got a date to figure this out. And it deals with illicit discharge control, and basically, if you read it, it talks about how you handle discharge for the protection of groundwaters, protection of property, and certainly, again, regulated by DEP and the Commonwealth of Mass. In Article 10, they talk about stormwater management, which we, in town, we've been doing stormwater management for several years now. One of the benefits of the stormwater management is anyone that's been to town hall in the last, I say 6 to 9 months has seen that we put an island in the middle of the parking lot, and that's basically stormwater management. It allows rainwater to get collected, surface water, so it doesn't pollute anything, and so forth. So again, both of these are mandated by DEP that the Town of Avon should, and when they say should, that means you will, get this approved by town meeting, and that's what these are about. Read unfortunately have pushed it off for a while now. And DEP says that tomorrow is our last day, which is the last day of the fiscal year, to get these approved by town meeting. So that's what we're doing tonight. Bill Fitzgerald did a great job working with DEP to come up with the wording in here to satisfy them. And we need to approve these tonight.
Do you want to take one at a time, Stephen?
Certainly, sir.
Okay. You've heard the explanation of Article 9. If you need a few more minutes to read it, I'll give it to you. But I think what they're saying is that the state demands that we have these in place by tomorrow. So the vote goes to you people. So if there is no other discussion on Article 9, all those in favor of passing Article 9 as presented by the Board of Selectmen signify in the usual manner. All those opposed, passes. Stephen, you want to do 10 too?
Yes, sir. Article 10. Again, Article 10 is deals with the stormwater management of the town. And again, this is a mandate by DEP, politely telling the town that we're going to honor this.
Okay, we have a second on that, Eric? Okay, pretty much standard must be done by tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of Article 10 as presented by the Selectmen, signify in the usual manner. All those opposed, thank you, Stephen, they vote now. Just give me 1 second, I want to read this. Article 11, Board of Selectmen. Jason, you want to take that, sir?
Move the town vote to authorize transfer to the estimates receipts the unexpended balance of monies in the amount of $69,439.29, more or less as voted in past town meetings indicated in the table below. I'll read each one as the table below. February 24th of 2020, special town meeting, article number 1 was for the police retro account. Balance that was unused was $12,687.60. 2/24 of 20, special town meeting, article number 2 for the ASPE retro was $12,507.18. October 24th of 2016, special town meeting, article number 1, ASPE retro, $2,652.94. 6/28 of 2016, article number 1, prior year bills, 30 equal cents. 11/18 of 98, special town meeting, article number 4, was engineering for the Lutheran property that was unused, was $1,653.50. May 15th of 20, oops, sorry, skipped one. February 16th of 2014, special town meeting, article number 4, land purchase for the pharmacy park, $5,853.15. 5/15 of 2017 at the annual town meeting, article number 13 was the balance left over from the building department vehicle of $5,584.59. And 3/24 of 2014, special town meeting, article number 1 was the regional school district planning committee, the allotted money of $28,500. Second. That money was for these actually projects were either completed or closed out, and there's obviously no sense in keeping those articles open. We're going to put those into the estimated receipts account.
And that's money coming back to the town that's been sitting there on all those accounts doing nothing, so the town will reap that $69,000. Do we have any other discussion on that article? Stephen?
I just want to mention that the $69,000 was money used to end up with a balanced budget too. So we were anticipating, with the cooperation of the Finance Committee, we were anticipating that you would vote affirmative to allow this money to go back in. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks, Jason. All right, Article 12. Oh, we gotta vote on that, right? All those in favor of Article 11 as presented by the Board of Selectmen? All those opposed, passes. Okay, Board of Assessors. You read it? Go ahead, Jason.
Article 12, I move the town to vote to authorize to transfer for free cash the sum of $35,000. Article 14 of the May 5th, 2015 annual town meeting to be used by the Board of Assessors to fund work for state mandated recertification. Second.
Pretty self-explanatory, Jason.
Yes, it's actually money that gets used by the Board of Assessors for recertification. I believe it's every 5 years.
I appreciate that. Any other discussion on Article 12? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify in the usual manner. All those opposed, thank you, Jason, very much. I would like to take this time to thank all the people who sent cards to both the hospital and to my home. I appreciated it. It was very well. Thank you very, very much, all. Motion. I'll take it. There's no discussion on adjournment. We are done.
We're gonna dismiss you back up. I know, you guys are so sick of me. All right, let's go.
Who's screaming back there?
That's Kathleen. We need to file out in an orderly manner and not everybody all at once.
Shut down.